Do you have
What's going on, everybody? Trump is addressing the nation in about 45, 50 minutes, something like that. So I figured I'd come on here before that, since I said I would try to. It's kind of difficult tonight, but I made it happen. He had something I had to do today. Let's see if I can fix this microphone. Why is this? Oh, this has got to be here. No, I'm not going on TikTok. Just on YouTube right now. Just on YouTube. We have somewhat of an idea of what he's going to talk about. I imagine it's going to be a lot of yapping about how great things are in the country. There's not going to be some huge breaking news. It's just going to be a lot of what it normally is, you know. So what's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Amanda, what's going on, Amanda? Joanne, Big Chillin', Cowboy Jules, Sam B, Christopher Martin, what's going on? Joe Diaz, Ashley Brooks, Leah Thompson, ZDP, what's going on? Kate in Neverland, Susan, Melanie, how are you? Leah Thompson, Brooke, how are you, Brooke? Summer Ray, Gumball, Brown Eyed Girl, Jacqueline. What's going on, everybody? Mama Moon, what's going on? Kathy Delaney. What's up, everybody? Star Rider, CCP, Pikachu, what's going on? Pikachu Baka. What's going on, everybody? Dre, how are you? How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? You had a blizzard? Like the ice cream, or an actual blizzard? I heard he was going to illegally declare war, even though you need Congress to do that. What are your thoughts? How would he go about funding that war without a congressional resolution? He can authorize strikes and call it a war, which I think is more likely if he's going to do that, but a full-blown war now. He may just be authorized. I mean, because the president has certain limited capacity. But here's the thing. This whole thing is illegal. Just to establish for everybody, Trump is basically claiming that Venezuela needs to return land and oil rights to the United States. So tonight he's probably going to talk about taking land back and oil rights that are ours. And what he's referring to is when the Venezuelan government took control of oil fields and assets that were operated by American companies. This was under the Chavez presidency, when Venezuela nationalized its oil industry and seized properties from U.S. firms sometime around 2007. Trump says that was illegal, right? And so he says the United States wants its oil rights back and land back, saying that these American companies and these American workers helped build Venezuela's oil industry, and therefore it's justified U.S. assets. It's justified for the U.S. to take back their assets. Because that's not legally justified, he's using the excuse that Venezuela is also an imminent national security threat to the United States. Claiming they're engaging in narco trafficking specifically. Another one he talks about is regime change. The people of Venezuela want a new leader anyway. So these are likely the things that he's going to discuss today. Melanie Matt, thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate you. Gumball, thank you so much. Melanie with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Melanie. I really appreciate that, Melanie. And Gumball, thank you so much. Kicking it off. Let's reach this goal. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Halfway through the week. Look, there's no legitimate legal justification for what you're going to witness him say. There's no legal justification. but just establishing what he's claiming is that these belong to the United States, and that it's justified for us to take them back. Carly, thank you for the $20 super chat. Carly, I really appreciate you. Thanks for being here tonight, and we all appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you and the sweet little boy of yours. Thank you, Carly. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Carly. Sitting right behind me, as a matter of fact. Thank you so much, Carly. I really appreciate that. To both of you for the $20 super chats. Thank you so much. So, bringing this up really quick, and I don't think that I really need to pull into another news network talking about it. In simple terms, Trump is saying Venezuela took something that belonged to American companies and that he has decided we're going to take it back. And this is going to be a part of his effort to confront the current Maduro Venezuelan government. I don't think that's... Here's the thing, right? Like, there's numerous considerations I'm giving. One is innocent civilians are clearly going to die. That's just happens, right, when countries fight. And just a consequence. And I think that's probably the number one consequence. But I think the biggest thing I'm thinking is this is almost identical to what we did 20-something years ago during the global war on terror. And it's remarkable to me how people have such short-term memory that they're willing to support this again. You've got to be out of your friggin' mind. But time and time again, Trump supporters prove they're incapable of thinking critically. They're incapable of considering historical precedent. They're incapable of opposing anything he does. It doesn't matter what it is. It actually concerns me, you know? Their unwillingness. I don't think there's a single thing. These are the guys. Remember why they elected Trump in the first place. Let's just kind of go back in time a minute. They pushed the idea that this guy was a peace president, that he was America first, that it wasn't about fighting other countries. In fact, I remember arguing with Trump supporters specifically about the war in Ukraine. Look at all these wars we're dealing with. Look at the war in Ukraine. Oh my God. All Joe Biden wants is war. And Donald Trump's going to come in and he's obviously he was pushing somewhat of an isolationist standpoint, but regardless, he was saying he was America first, and yeah. And here we are. We're not even a year into this administration. We're not even a year into this administration. Unbelievable. It's 9 o'clock. It's going to be 9 o'clock. All right, I'm going to be able. I mean, I could pull it up. Listen, I'm not really super. Alicia, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Alicia. I really appreciate you, Alicia. Thank you so much, Alicia. This person in chat said Venezuela nationalized its oil in 1976. So yeah, the state took full control of the oil industry, but 2007, those actions involved seizing specific assets, right, and contracts from foreign companies, which is what President Trump is referring to when he talks about returning land and oil rights to the United States. Trump's claims are related to 2007, not you said not 1976. It's literally the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Pretty much, yeah. I think I just get frustrated more or less when, these guys were pushing the idea that he was a peacetime president. Oh, yeah, let's talk about this. Rebel with quotes. Thank you for bringing this up because I wanted to bring this up. Dan Bongino announced that he will be leaving the FBI. I don't know if he formally announced it or information leaked that he'll be leaving the FBI. I find that incredibly interesting, not because I didn't expect it. If you watch me on TikTok or you watch me on here, I called this a couple months ago. I thought Dan was going to be leaving. They appointed a co-deputy director of the FBI. I thought it was likely Dan Bongino would be on his way out. Among other things, he walked out once the Epstein files thing happened. Pam Bondi informed him he was in the files. The rumor was he didn't like the handling of the files, and so he walked out of the FBI building. Again, we didn't really get the full story there, but it's likely that's what it was about. Remember, Dan Bongino. It's not. Oh, yeah. Oh, he announced it. Yeah, well, we knew this earlier today. It leaked. So he posted something, is what Rebel with Quotes is saying. Let me look this up really quick. Because if he posted an official resignation, I want to read it. Guys, this is really interesting. Because we are 2 days away from the release of the Epstein files, and this is one of the guys that built his career on social media, talking about the importance of releasing the Epstein files, and walked out of the FBI building. Where did he post his statement, Rebel? Where did he post his statement? This could really indicate there's something in those files that is not going to be pretty. The rumor was he wanted to leave after the Epstein stuff. I can tell you that Pam Bondi's not thrilled with Patel and Bongino. All right, here's the official statement, everybody. Here is the official statement from Dan Bongino. I will be leaving my position with the FBI in January. I want to thank President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, and Director Patel for their opportunity to serve with purpose. Most importantly, I want to say thank you, my fellow Americans, for the privilege to serve you. God bless America and all those who defend her. Interesting. Really interesting. Really freaking interesting. Jeremy, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, GWAT veterans and millennials clocked this war for oil bullshit. Big facts. Big facts. Clocked it quick. And again, I understand there's short-term memory politics and people, but this is something that I didn't think people would forget so quickly. Trump supporters have unwavering support in regards to every decision he makes. So I think that's really what it's about. I don't even think it's that they forgot. But I was happy to hear how many people were opposed to it. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is putting him on blast, but I think it's for selfish purposes. I really do. I think it's for selfish purposes. I really do. If I had to take a guess, and this is obviously not, this is just based on circumstantial stuff, but I would guess that Bongino didn't like what's coming out in those Epstein files. So I think that's a big deal. Do you guys really honestly believe that this is a coincidence 2 days before the release of the Epstein files? No way. I'll be shocked if there's nothing in there now. This leads me to believe there's something very, very serious in there. Maduro was on TV saying no war for oil. Well, that's nice that he says that, but it's not. And listen, he's a bad guy. There's no doubt about it. But it doesn't justify this. We've done this several times. We've seen this same thing over not just Iraq and Afghanistan. We've seen this with Libya. We've seen this several times. Is it possible martial law to be declared if we go to war? I feel like between the files, it's about to get ugly. I mean, they wouldn't declare martial law for a war that's not on U.S. soil. But, I mean, anything is possible with this administration, so. The House also did not approve a war powers resolution. Yeah, this is what I was talking about before, and that's obviously what they'll need. But the president has some limited authority, and I don't think Trump cares about the process. But I talked about this earlier on TikTok today when people were talking about this. He technically can't, at least not a full-blown war. So we'll see what he says. I really expect a lot of this to be about how good the country's doing, the economy, and I think there will be something big dropped about next year. I don't know, but I think this is mostly going to be him gaslighting us, telling us how great we're doing and everything. I honestly, that's my belief. If they were going to release the files, they wouldn't wait till Friday, which is when Congress goes on winter break. Well, that's what they said. They're releasing it. So we'll see. They only have a certain number of days. They really don't have a choice. And if they do that, look, it looks worse for them. So he's not going to resign. That's one thing I can guarantee is not happening tonight. Trump's not going to resign. That's just not going to happen. It's just not. Did you hold on one second here. I just want to make sure that he didn't actually didn't speak about this, because if he did, I want to pull it up if Bongino actually spoke about this. I don't see anything. Did you already talk about the Rainers? I watched Stand By Me and The American President. The American President's great. Last night in their honor, super sad. Yes, I've talked about it multiple times. I think it's incredibly sad. And I think Trump's statements about him were absolutely disgusting when it's saying that about Rob Reiner. And again, I'm seeing all these comparisons like Rob Reiner and Charlie Kirk. Rob Reiner and Charlie Kirk are not on the same level, okay? Rob Reiner's a humanitarian. Period. I did hear about the Jack Smith stuff, but I haven't heard much else about it. Is there anything else about that came out? Trump said that he thinks Bongino wants to get back to his show. He really said that? Are you kidding me? He really said that? He thinks Bongino wants to get back to his show? Yes, A Few Good Men is another good one. Princess Bride. That's definitely not the reason. Bongino, his show, oh my God. His show was about the Epstein files. His show was about that kind of stuff. That's insane. It's insane. Let me pull up Google. Let me pull up the phone number here because people are calling in. No, I'll pull up. All right, you can call in if you need to call in. Yeah, it's very sad. It's very, very sad. Bongino is out, yeah. But you got to question the timing. Right before the 30-day limit for the Epstein Transparency Act, you guys don't think that's suspicious? The one guy that flipped out when he heard that Trump was in the Epstein files, the one guy that built a career on social media claiming the release of the Epstein files was super important. Yeah, I'm interested to see that too. I'm interested to see how Bongino reacts to that as well. I think he probably will. But remember, I don't see him not being loyal I don't see him coming out and like exposing a bunch of stuff. But I could see him kind of with a subtle nod as to why he left before the release of the Epstein files, if and when they're released, which they're supposed to be in the next day or so. I could see him kind of allowing that to speak for itself in a sense. Guys, nobody leaves director of the FBI to go back to a podcast. He's the deputy director of the FBI. You don't leave it to go back to a podcast. You can say that, but nobody believes you. This person, Taylor Weiss, I think you should be worried about the Russian Federation. Why should I be worried about the Russian Federation? What do you mean? Why should I specifically be worried about it? I'm just curious what you mean by that statement. Yeah, something is about to happen. I feel it too. But I felt that before. And when I do, it's never anything good for us. So I don't know. Again, don't expect accountability if that's what you're looking for. Don't expect people to have some kind of awakening that have supported him up until this point, because they'll continue to support him. I don't expect anything to change there. He's such a champion for justice that he wants to leave the FBI for podcasting. Exactly. That's a crock of shit. That is a complete crock. Pikachu Baka, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Kathy Horn, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. So, guys, we're about 30 minutes out from the presidential address. Trump is addressing the nation. People are very interested to see what he's going to say. I have an expectation. He's going to be talking about Venezuela, how good the country's doing, and things like that. Maybe he'll get more in depth on what he means when he says they need to return land and assets, which I explained earlier. Yeah, I think that's basically what we're going to hear tonight. Don't expect anything profound. Yeah, I mean, this guy Billy says you must have Trump derangement syndrome. Guys, I must have Trump derangement syndrome because I talk about politics for my content, and I'm talking about the president. Billy, let me tell you who has Trump derangement syndrome, okay? I'm going to break this down for you. The people that have Trump derangement syndrome are the people that wear red hats, the people that have unwavering support for Trump. They're the people right now that are supporting a war with Venezuela. They're those people. The $4.99, thanks for coming on to cover this. Yeah, it's tough tonight, but I'm making it work. Why is it saying I need to allow mic access here? Hold on, you got to call back. Just call back, dude. Just call back if you're calling in. I don't know why it did that. I don't know why these guys call in one time and then stop. Like, it's weird. And we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. But yeah, that's people who have Trump derangement syndrome. People that talk about the president don't have Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, why don't you call in and tell me, Billy, why I have Trump derangement syndrome? Why don't you call in and explain it to me, Billy? The phone number is right there, Billy. Call in and explain it to me, Billy. We only have 30 minutes and then we're watching the Trump address the nation. So if you're going to call in, you better call in now. Why? Because he has done everything he said he was going to do. Did he stop the war in Ukraine 24 hours after becoming president elect?